Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you are all doing super well. I am so excited to be here right now because, guys, I am going to toot my own horn for a second here. I have successfully filmed every single day this week on my YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel, Beaonca Ward, and check out my videos. I'm going to be posting every single day from here on out, and I'm going to continue posting these podcast episodes by every single Wednesday as well too. So I just wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to show up in a really powerful way for you guys, and that's why I am working to go so hard on my content. I have so many goals and I'm very determined to reach those things. If any of you have any goals that you've kind of been putting off just because of fear, or you're just not sure if things are going to work out for you, this is your sign right now to just go for it. Try your best. Sometimes things don't work out for us the way that we planned those things to, because they're meant to work out for us in another way that's going to be even more fruitful, and we're going to enjoy our lives more if something actually doesn't go our way. So I want you to keep that in mind as you work towards your goals. Also, guys, so for today's episode, I kind of just want to share what my journey of makeup really looks like for me at some point in my life. And I wanted to come on here and talk about this, right? Because I know that there's a lot of pressure in our world today to show up in a certain way. And I mean in terms of your physical looks. I kind of felt uncomfortable the other day when I was doing my hair. So, guys, I literally spent, no lie, 12 hours doing my hair the other day. This was, actually, it was on New Year's Eve. It took me 12 hours and I was so tired, so exhausted. I got frustrated a couple times and I had to stop, take some breaks, of course, and eat, things like that. But even then, I had these random thoughts in my mind about how this is such a big thing right now in our time. I think for women to wear wigs or have extensions and things like that. And so me having my hair the way that it is right now, where it's a style where I have kind of twists with curls, things like that, but it made me uncomfortable because I thought about what if I'm not fitting a standard? And that's the thing too, even if you are a person who has evolved a lot, or you're really in tune, you can still have moments like this where you get hard on yourself and you start to think about what if I'm not going to be accepted? What if this doesn't turn out and I end up looking a mess, and other people are like, "Ooh, why does this person look like this?" Where people have this idea that women are supposed to look a certain way, and if they don't share that kind of look, they're kind of viewed on the outside. Or when people share an idea of what makes someone look beautiful, if you don't fit that mold, then of course people are going to be they think that you're ugly or unattractive, and so that leaves you thinking about yourself in that kind of way. And this was really a funny experience too, because it's after I did my hair, I was wow, this looks great. I love it. And I enjoyed it even more because I took the time and the energy to really create something. And it's not something I usually do either. I don't usually do my hair because I don't know much about it, to be honest. I'm trying to learn, and that was part of my reasoning for wanting to do this. But we go through these periods where we have to figure out like what's really aligned for us. And one way that that's looked in my own life has been when it comes to what I look like physically, and how I'm choosing to dress, do my hair, do my makeup. Years ago, some of you guys may know this, but I used to create videos, like makeup videos on YouTube. I'm obviously like not doing that anymore. On my YouTube channel now, I make videos every day, and I share things about like spirituality and like how to evolve. I talk about family, romantic partners, friendships, relationships of all kinds, just things to help you build a life that you are proud of and one that you're happy to wake up to every day. But before all of that, guys, I used to post makeup tutorials, and a lot of people were doing it. But at the time in my life where I was doing makeup, it hadn't caught on as like a really big thing yet. Like this was like right before YouTube became a huge platform for makeup content creators. And I was still, I got really heavy into makeup actually when I was in high school. My freshman year, like I literally used to wear a full face of makeup to class every single day. And looking back, I really did enjoy doing my makeup. I liked the feeling of having people validate what I looked like physically, because my confidence levels were not good back then. But I wasn't as self-aware then as I am now. So even though, I would have negative thoughts about myself and like what I looked like, I didn't realize how bad it was until years later. And there were a couple things going on at the time, right? Like I went to a school where it's mostly made up of girls. It was an all-girls school. I don't know why I said mostly, but most of the girls who are there weren't black. Like, and that's okay. That's okay. But look, with that, and I know those of you who have had a similar experience can understand, like, when you are at a school like that and you feel like other people don't look like you, it doesn't matter, what your race is. But when you're in a situation where people don't look like you, sometimes you can feel this pressure to have to like impress or to look a certain way, because you feel like all eyes are on you anyway. So you're like, okay, oh crap, like if people are going to look at me, then I want to make sure that I'm looking like hella good. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be judged, and you don't want to be like part of the like out crowd. Like you want to be, you want to be accepted by other people, because you don't want to feel like you're alone. And so yeah, I used to be showing up stunting. Like I used to have a full face. So it was a Catholic school, so we all had to wear uniforms. But like on random days where we would have dress down days, like I used to be killing it. I used to show up and like I was decked out in the clothes, y'all. Like for real. Like I used to wear heels, literally on dress down days and stuff like that. And although I can say that there was definitely a part of me that loved and enjoyed doing that, because it felt good to me. Like I love when I have opportunities to express myself either through my hair or my makeup or fashion. At the time, it became less about that and more about like I need to have this validation because I felt so poorly about myself, or I felt like I just needed to do something to like show up or express myself as a creative individual, because I felt like that was going to get lost if I didn't do that at the time. And what I've been able to look back and learn from that experience, because this went on for years of my life until I kind of hit this plateau point where I like just stopped. I didn't even want to show up anymore. Like I started doing the exact opposite, which was I looked like not too good all the time, but that's because I felt poorly about myself. And so I was like not trying to really do anything or like taking care of myself in a way that I could have, because I was so depressed. And I was very anxious as well. I was struggling with my anxiety at this point and my health. But what I've learned is that moments like that are giving us more information about who we are and the different areas of our lives that we're being called to look at that specific time. You know, we look outside of ourselves for validation and things like that when we don't feel as good about ourselves on the inside. And a lot of times we're doing this stuff and like we don't even realize that we're actually doing it because it's not in our awareness. Like you can't know something that you don't know. You know what I mean? And I just didn't even realize what the situation was as much. Like I knew that I was trying to like impress, and I knew some of the reasons why, but I didn't know how deep that actually went, and I didn't recognize that it was, you know, because I was looking outside of myself for things. We all do this. That was an example of how that looked for me, but you know, people do this with alcohol. They do this with money, sex, relationship partners, people who frequently switch partners sometimes, they do this. We do it with material things as well. Like when people are focused so much on like, you know, trying to stunt or have something to show for, but they're lacking the ability to like look within, you know? And that's the thing about it. We are better able to attract these amazing outside experiences, people, relationships, and material things when we don't feel like we're fully attached to them, when we don't feel like we need to rely on these things for our sense of self-worth. And that's when things are a problem. It's when we either don't know or feel like we are unable to cultivate unconditional love for self, because all of our attention is focused on the things that we can have to show for, the things that we can buy and have people look at us and go like, "Ooh, look at that girl, she's killing it today." You know what I mean? And if that's where you're at, hey, look, if you're listening to this episode right now, then that means you're at this point in your life where you are ready to start looking within. And if you're already looking within, it's time to look deeper. It's time to keep going and continuing this work that you've been doing. It really does make a difference. Everything that you do helps to change the world, and it helps to not only advance your own soul, it helps to advance the souls of all the people who are going to be coming after you, whether you are related to them or, you know, they're going to be people that you encounter, or they're going to be like random people who live states away from you. You're still helping to raise the vibration of the planet, and everyone can feel that. That's the thing. It's like we think that we're just like one person, so we can't really make that much of a change or a difference, and that is so not true. Listen, your soul is so freaking powerful that you are transforming things for people who live nowhere near you. Like, you know how big of a deal that is to change the vibration and frequency of the planet? Like, yo, like, you're killing it right now. And people have been working so hard on themselves. So give yourselves a break. Congratulate yourself, reward yourself, because you really are killing it right now. And I'm very proud of you. I always tell you guys that I'm proud of you for all the work that you're doing, because I know that this stuff is not easy. I don't pretend like it's easy, because I know that it's not at all. But sometimes we have these things that go on where we need to figure out how we're going to shift back into alignment, right? Like, we have moments where maybe we're looking outside of ourselves with our relationship with food. That's another big one that I see. Sometimes we have these unhealthy relationships with food and with what we consume in general, because of our lack of our ability to progress within. And so that, I guess, that comes up the question of, how do you actually do this thing? And I think the first part of it really is just about cultivating that awareness. And the awareness comes from, like, looking within and sitting with yourself and being honest, like being fully honest with yourself. Because a lot of people don't do this. Like, we have thoughts about things and we criticize ourselves, but we're not actually honest with ourselves about how we feel about ourselves. You know what I mean? And I have been guilty of this as well, but the more that you are honest with yourself, the more that you open up a space for you to work through this stuff. And when all that weight is off about, what you can avoid and what you can run away from, you're opening your mind up to have all these different positive possibilities to happen for you. You open yourself up energetically for that stuff to happen. And also, you're giving your mind space, like literally in the brain, to be like, okay, I can think about more things. Because when your mind is occupied on thinking about very specific stuff, like, you don't have the opportunity to look at anything else, because you're so focused on whatever it is that is causing you the stress, the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is. And it goes beyond just, you ignoring all this stuff, because ignoring this stuff is only going to make it worse, guys. Like, that is a fact. And I hate to tell you if I just bursted your bubble, but I'm going to keep it real. Like, trust me, I know, because I have done this, and it's caused a lot of grief in my life, and it's caused a lot of problems that did not need to exist. And look, it's all right. I know. I'm just saying. And it's hard to break out of that cycle when you've lived through things that you want to run away from. You lived through things that have caused you to have to come up with coping strategies, and you didn't have the right coping strategies. So what you came up with were things that involve avoidance, and they involve, like, substance abuse and things like that. Like, okay, you're not alone in these things that you're struggling with. And forgive yourself for those things. You don't have to blame yourself for bad decisions and choices that you've made in the past. Like, you can acknowledge them and recognize, like, okay, this is what I've done. Here's how I'm going to make peace with it and move forward. But don't be too hard on yourselves, because you deserve better than that. And yes, you do deserve good, amazing, lovely things, regardless of whether anyone has ever told you that, or if you think differently for yourself. You do deserve happiness and good things, even if you've made bad decisions and choices in the past. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you don't deserve good, loving, amazing things just because you've made mistakes in the past. Don't ever let anyone tell you that, because it's not true. People really like to punish other people, and I think sometimes we put that towards ourselves, where we like to punish ourselves as well. But it's not productive. It's not. And you deserve so much better than that, guys. So keep doing you. Try your best and work on having that unconditional love for yourselves. I'm really proud of you. I hope that you guys found this episode helpful. If you would like spiritual or life coaching, guys, reach out to me. You can reach out to me through my website, beaoncaward.com. I actually have a couple of spots open now for those of you who are open to receiving teachings, guidance, and support. And also, guys, please make sure that you review and rate this podcast so that other people know, like, what's up, what's going on here. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And also too, guys, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, watch my videos. I'm putting out every single day. All right, now I'm done. Bye, guys.